Hello there, very good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Lunchtime News on TV1. We're coming to you live and direct from our News First studios here in Colombo. Up first, in a look at your top stories for this afternoon. President meets Commonwealth Secretary General. UNHRC urges Sri Lanka to implement recommendations. Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna will support the Broadcasting Regulatory Commission Act. A statement from parliamentarian Manjula. Acting Finance Minister says confident of reaching an agreement with bilateral creditors by the first review of the IMF in September. Prime Minister apologizes for hurt suffered by Thailand Tusker. And now taking a look at those stories in detail. President Ranil Wickremesinghe, who is on a visit to Great Britain, met with the Secretary General of the Commonwealth, Patricia Scotland, in London.
The President's Media Division said the Sri Lankan Head of State and the Commonwealth Secretary General discussed a digitisation program within the Commonwealth. Views were also exchanged regarding the manner in which the Commonwealth can assist the government's strategies and efforts in facing climate change. President Ranil Wickremesinghe is due to attend the summit for a new global financing pact being held in France on an invitation by French President Emmanuel Macron. The stated goal of the conference, which will be held on the 22nd and 23rd of June, is to build a new contract between the countries of the North and the South to address climate change and the global crisis. The summit will reportedly focus on the need to urgently support from the Paris Club to create debt sustainability.
Moving on in more news from overseas, moreover, Volker Turk, the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, has encouraged Sri Lankan authorities to implement the recommendations of the United Nations Human Rights Council. Now, the United Nations Human Rights Council began its 53rd regular session on Monday, and it will continue until the 14th of July 2023 in Geneva.
In Sri Lanka, although the government has regrettably rejected aspects of the Council's resolutions related to accountability, it has continued to engage with our presence on the ground. Sri Lanka has received a dozen visits by mandate holders in the past decade, and I encourage the authorities to implement their recommendations.
Well, TV1 is the official broadcaster here in Sri Lanka for the World Cup qualifiers that Sri Lanka, you would remember, won their match yesterday quite convincingly, the first match that Sri Lanka played in the World Cup qualifier. We now cross over to the toss of the World Cup qualifying matches today.
අයිබෝවන් 2023 ලෝක කුසලාන ක්‍රිකට් තරඟාවලිය සඳහා සුදුසුකම් ලබා ගැනීමේ තරඟමාලාවේ තරඟ පැවැත්වෙන 3 වන දිනය අද දිනේදී ඒකාණ්ඩයේ තරඟ දිත්වයක් පැවැත්වෙන බවට ප්‍රේක්ෂක ඔබ මේ වන විට හොඳ ආකාරවම දන්නවා. සත්කාරක සිම්බාබ්වේ කණ්ඩායම නෙදර්ලන්තයට එරෙහිවත් නේපාල් කණ්ඩායම ඇමරිකා කණ්ඩායමට එරෙහිවත් අද හරාරෙහිදී තරඟ බිමට පිවිසීමට නියමිත වෙනවා. සිරස TV1 නාලිකාව අපි මෙවර මේ තරඟමාලාව තුල දේශීය නිල විකාශන අයිති හිමි නාලිකා දිත්වය ලෙස මේ තරඟ තොරතුරු ඔබට සමීප කරන බවට ඔබ මේ වෙන විට දන්නවා. විශේෂයෙන් සඳහන් කළ යුතු සිම්බාබ්වේ කණ්ඩායම ඔවුන් මේ තරඟමාලාව ආරම්භ කරමින් මුහුණ දුන් පළමු තරඟයේදී නේපාල් කණ්ඩායමට එරෙහිව කඩළු 8ක විශිෂ්ට ජයක් හිමි කරගත්තා. අපිට හැකියාව තිබෙනවා තරඟයේ කාසිය වාසිය උරගා බලන ස්ථානයට.
World Cup qualifiers, and I've got Graham LeBroy, the match referee, Craig Irvin, the Zimbabwean captain, Scott Edwards, the captain of the Netherlands, is here. Who's got the coin? Go ahead. Tails is the call. It is a tail, so Zimbabwe have won the toss. Craig, what are you going to do and why?
I think we're going to have a ball first. Obviously in the last game we didn't particularly start well with the new ball, but hopefully today we can make some breakthroughs early on in those first 10.
Yeah, I want to come back to that first. I want to ask you if there are any changes to your 11 today.
No, we're going with the same team today.
Yeah, talk to me a little bit more about that bowling and what you require to get those breakthroughs early.
Well, I think it's more just disciplined line and length, trying to be a little bit patient. I thought in the last game we maybe searched a little bit for wickets, but credit to Nepal, they did start pretty well. But hopefully today we can be a little bit more disciplined with the new ball.
How are you loving life at the top of the order recently?
Yeah, it's a new role for me. Started really well in the last game. Hopefully I can continue that form.
All the best to you.
Thank you.
Scott, walk this way. Scott, having to bat first in these conditions, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, not too concerned about the wicket. I think it's played pretty well both at the start of the day and in the afternoon. So, yeah, we'll have a look early and then hopefully we can put on a big score from there.
Because it's your first game of the tournament, I'll ask you, who are the guys left out of your squad today?
Yeah, we've got Noah Crows, Michael Levitt, Vivian Kingma and Ryan Klein. There we go.
Very good, very good. You passed the test. Now a number of more experienced players, 6 or 7 at least, haven't made this. How challenging is it that those experienced guys are not here with you today?
No, we're not too concerned about it, to be honest. I think the squad that we've brought has played a pretty good brand of cricket. We've won a lot of games, yeah, and we feel like our prep's been good. So, no, we're happy with where we're at.
Yeah, you've been in Africa for a while and you ran Zimbabwe close, albeit with a different squad a couple of months ago.
Yeah, we feel like, well, we've obviously played a lot against Zimbabwe. Yeah, in the last year or so. So we feel like we know their squad. They obviously know ours as well. But yeah, we feel like we match up well against them, and we're looking forward to putting on a good performance today.
Good luck.
Cheers.
Just a reminder.
තරගයේ කාසියේ වාසය දිනාගත් සිම්බාබ්වේ කණ්ඩායම තීරණය කරනවා පළමුවෙන් පන්දු යැවීමට. ඒ අනුව ප්‍රතිවාදී නෙදර්ලන්ත කණ්ඩායම අභියෝගයේ හිමිවනවා පළමුවෙන් පන්දුවට පහර දීමේ අභියෝගය. විශේෂයෙන් සඳහන් කළ යුතු නෙදර්ලන්ත කණ්ඩායම මේ තරගමාලාව ආරම්භ කරමින් සහභාගී වන පළමු තරගයටයි ඔවුන් සිම්බාබ්වේ කණ්ඩායමට එරෙහිව අද හරාරේහිදී මේ අභියෝගයට මුහුණ දෙන්නේ. මා පෙරත් සඳහන් කළා සිම්බාබ්වේ කණ්ඩායම ඔවුන් මුහුණ දුන් පළමු තරගයේදී කඩුළු 8ක විශිෂ්ට ජයග්‍රහණයක් හිමි කර ගනිමින් එම ජයග්‍රාහී මානසිකත්වයෙන් යුතුව තමයි මෙම තරගයට මේ ආකාරයෙන් පිවිසෙන්නේ. සිම්බාබ්වේ සහ නෙදර්ලන්ත තරගය මේ විදිහට ක්‍රියාත්මක වේදී ඔබ දන්නවා ඒ කාණ්ඩේ තවත් තරගයක් ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙනවා. ඇමරිකාව සහ නේපාලය අතර ඇමරිකාව ඔවුන් මුහුණ දුන් පළමු තරගය බටහිර ඉන්දිය කොදෙව්වන්ට එරෙහිව පරාජයට පත් වුවත් ප්‍රබල අභියෝගයක් ලබා දුන්නා කොදෙව්වන්ට එරෙහිව. විශේෂයෙන් සඳහන් කරන්න ඕනේ ඔවුන්ගේ පිතිකරු සිං එහිදී ශතකයක් වාර්තා කරන්නට සමත් වුණා. මේ ආකාරයෙන් මේ තරගමාලාව ක්‍රියාත්මක වද්දී ඊයේ සහභාගී වූ ශ්‍රී ලංකා කණ්ඩායමේ පළමු අභියෝගය ඔවුන් ජයග්‍රහණය කිරීමත් සමග බොහෝ දෙනෙකුගේ කතාබහකට මේ තරඟාවලිය මේ වන විට ලක්ව තිබෙනවා. ඉදිරියේදී ශ්‍රී ලංකා කණ්ඩායමේ ප්‍රතිවාදීන් බවට පත්වන්නේ කවුද? වැඩිම ලකුණුලාභීන් බවට මේ තරඟමාලාව තුළ පත්වන්නේ කවුරුන්ද කියන වගට ක්‍රීඩාලෝලින්ගේ දැඩි අවධානයක් යොමුව තිබෙනවා. ඇමරිකාවට එරෙහි තරගයේ කාසිය වාසිය මේ වන විට උරගා බලා අවසන්. අනුව කාසිය වාසිය දිනාගත් නේපාල් කණ්ඩායම එම තරගයේදී තීරණය කර තිබෙන්නේ පළමුවෙන් පන්දු යැවීම සඳහායි. නිමා වූ තරග කිහිපය තුළට අපි අවධානය යොමු කළහොත් බොහෝ දෙනෙකු කාසිය වාසිය දිනා ගැනීමෙන් අනතුරුව පළමුවෙන් පන්දු යැවීමට තීරණය කරන ආකාරය අපට දැක ගන්නට පුළුවන්. මේ සිම්බාබ්වේ හරාරේ සහ බුලෙවායෝ ක්‍රීඩාංගන ආශ්‍රිතව මේ පැවැත්වෙන තරගමාලාවට අපි යනවා. තරගයේ පිටියේ හැසිරීම කොහොමද කියන කාරණාව බලන්න.
Down at us, more welcoming conditions, welcoming for me anyway. You wouldn't be able to tell that it's the winter here in Zimbabwe, markedly different from a few hours ago when it was quite chilly. We've shifted a little bit eastward, a couple of strips in an easterly direction, so it's a fresh surface, a new surface. And if I look at this, it looks really good for batting. I can have a closer inspection. It is not as grassed as that last pitch, but it's quite firm, quite hard, and it suggests that the ball will come nicely onto the bat. The first half an hour, however, will be a little bit tricky. As you would expect, in the first 30 minutes or so with a 9 a.m. start, you can see some movement with that new hard ball. How the opening batters negotiate that period is very important. And once they get through that period, it's going to be really good batting conditions. The average first inning score here, 253, but in a recent series, Pakistani against a Zimbabwe select team, 293 was the average first inning score. And I think somewhere around 300 will be par. We had 2 centurions in that last game, almost a third. Nepalese opening batter getting to 99. So in terms of batting, I think they will enjoy the conditions here. And speaking about batting, someone who did enjoy the conditions here spoke to us a little bit earlier, Sean Williams.
Welcome back to the news. Now, Minister for State of Finance, Shehan Sema Singh, has said that the government is confident that debt restructuring with all bilateral creditors of the country will be concluded by the first review of the IMF. The State Minister of Finance expressed these views during a press conference held at the Presidential Media Centre yesterday.
When we have to meet the timeline of September for the first review of the IMF second tranche, we are confident that we should be able to come into an agreement with our bilateral creditors. All bilateral creditors, including the Paris Club membership, with Japan, India, China, all countries have been engaging with us very positively. So I think we have a long way ahead, but we are confident that by the end of the year, we will have a substantial recovery of the economy. But the anticipated growth of the, as per the IMF program, is minus 3% in 2023. But with all the hard work and the support of the society, we are confident that we will do the -3 growth. We are confident on that. And we will definitely go through the first review where we have met most of the targets except the revenue targets, because the revenue from the customs department does not meet the targets as we have many restrictions.
The Women for Freedom organization staged a protest in Battaramulla today. They were demanding for solutions to the issues faced by Sri Lankan women working overseas.
The protest was staged opposite the Foreign Employment Bureau in Battaramulla. The protesters pointed out that solutions must be provided for insecurity in the employment of women overseas.
Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna parliamentarian Manjula Disanayake says that no matter who objects to the Broadcasting Regulatory Commission Act, they will support the act in Parliament.
In the past, when we look at a newspaper, about 3/4 of the paper was censored. When news bulletins were out, sections of it were censored. That is media suppression. Our government is attempting to bring media regulation and not media suppression. If a person publishes a news report invading someone else's privacy and damaging his reputation, is that person's constitutional rights protected? Therefore, no matter who opposes this act, we will support it.
Sri Lankan Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena told Parliament that the government apologized to the Thai government over the harassment caused to Muthuraja, an elephant gifted to Sri Lanka by the government of Thailand.
Speaking of the treatment of Muthuraja, it was a great deal of disrespect to us and the country. The matter of taking back Muthuraja was a promise made during the Thailand elections that took place recently. It became the headline of all leading news networks in the world. Has the government at least apologized to the Thai government?
A former president presented this elephant to the Kande Vihara. Thereafter, the Wildlife Department took action following the complaints that were made. We have given all that we can for the care of the elephant, as respect to the Thai government. After it is given to a temple as a gift, it is a temple's responsibility and not the government alone. Because of the request of the Thai ambassador, the monks agreed to hand over the elephant to be taken care by the Thai government.
The Department of Wildlife cannot shy away from this. You say it was given with an episode. Let me warn you that the existing veterinarians are also thinking about leaving the country. When those numbers drop, there will be no veterinarians to attend the human-elephant conflict. Will Sri Lanka apologize to that nation over this matter? When I visited Thailand last month, I met with the Prime Minister and I discussed this and apologized to them. Muthuraja will head to Thailand soon. The Theros have submitted documents related to the return of the elephant after treatment.
Countless Sri Lankans continue to live in fear of losing their lives due to the human-elephant conflict. Residents of Siambalagaswewa village have been suffering due to this conflict for decades now.
According to the villagers, elephants that encroach on the village from the Nachadua reserve destroy much of their crop. Wild elephants that encroached on the village just yesterday had destroyed around 70 acres of paddy fields.
ගෙවල් වතු වලට පැනලා කළා පොල් පැල කනවා ගෙවල් කඩනවා තියෙන ධන ධාන්‍ය කඩලා කනවා මේක යාලා මහදකේම මේ අරබුදේ තියෙනවා.
Villagers said the lack of an elephant fence is the main reason for the issue.
නිදි අලිවැටක් නැති නිසා තමයි මේ හානිය අපිට ඇති වෙන්නේ. ඔතමන්ලා ඇවිල්ලා බලන්න මේකට මොකද කරලා තියෙන්නේ. මේකට අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම අලිවැටක් ලබා දෙන්න කියන ඉල්ලීම තමයි මගේ ඉල්ලීම.
Residents of Yaya 23 village in Pokunugala Bakamuna of the Polonnaruwa district are facing a similar situation. Villagers said elephants encroach on the village daily. Area residents said elephants had damaged several houses over the past few days.
මේක දැන් මාසයක් වූ ගොයමක් ලක්ෂ ගාණක් වියදම් කරලා මිනිස්සු කනකර උකස් තියලා ණය වෙලා කරන වගාවට මෙහෙම හානිනා වැඩක්.
The residents here only ask for a viable solution to these issues.
5 army personnel have been injured in an accident reported early this morning along the Colombo-Kandy road in Radhavadunna.
Police said the accident was reported around 5 a.m. this morning when a fuel bowser crashed onto a Sri Lanka army van. The fuel bowser had crashed head-on with a Sri Lanka army van travelling in the opposite direction when attempting to overtake 3 vehicles. A nearby shop was also damaged. News First correspondent said those who sustained injuries are receiving treatment at the Vatupitubala hospital and 3 of them are in critical condition. Police said the driver of the fuel bowser was arrested.
And that's a wrap of lunchtime news on TV1. Do stay tuned for the very latest. You can enjoy the World Cup qualifiers in a few short moments. Take care. God bless.